Man, I was wrong about Colorado giving Arizona a close game here. 97-50 was the final score. And somehow, Carter, I think this game was uglier than the score shows for Colorado. Arizona is untouchable at home, though. We might need to add this to our Bible of betting rules. I don't think we should ever be allowed to fade Arizona, no matter how big the spread is, at home ever again.
Oh yeah, Tucson Wildcats are special. That was a good old fashioned, and to pull out a sleeper's term, that was a good old fashioned dog walking. Got the leash out, grabbed the small bag just in case there was poops, grabbed treats, and took them for a nice long stroll along the streets of Tucson. That was a a masterful performance by the Wildcats, one that was much needed to bounce back after the unexplainable in my eyes loss to Stanford. Credit to Arizona for coming out locked in. Like this is how a team that we think of so highly in Arizona, this is how a really good team responds. Like you get a team at home, a good Colorado team, I still think. Don't get me wrong there. They were without Silva and without Cody Williams in this game. But even so, they put belt to ass in this game. They whooped them. I had a hard time sleeping last night because I was still trying to figure out how Kylan Boswell threw an 80-foot double left-hand bounce pass to hit somebody in stride for a layup. It's one of the nastiest things I've ever seen. But
Did he
yeah,
try to do that? Let's just go
I,
right. Did he
I
try to
think
do that?
I think he did.
I think he tried to throw it with one bounce, and then it ended up having two.
Think?
It looked cooler. Yeah, that's my read.
Okay, we need someone to follow. We need hopefully someone in the Arizona media asked a tough question if he meant to do that because I don't know, but regardless, just a special performance by this Arizona team. Like never in doubt, got out to a 20-point lead before you could even blink, increased that lead, increased it again, and kept on increasing it. Word to
Yeah.
Kirk.
Yeah, this is the polarizing thing about Arizona to me is that at their best, I think second best team in the country. I still think like we kind of saw Purdue and Arizona, I think at each other's best. And Purdue won. But there was a big stretch of that game where Arizona was like making a furious comeback and looked like the better team against Purdue. So there's definitely an argument that Arizona at their best is the best team in the country, and it's not very close. There's a very low floor here too, which is scary, and that's kind of been the story with Arizona, even going back to Sean Miller. It's like they just aren't consistently in the middle. It's polar extremes. It's either we're here or we're here. And
But don't you have to accept that as a team that plays Caleb Love?
but I don't think Caleb Love's the reason why anymore.
Uh,
Like I think people kind of expected that would be the case with him this year. I actually think he's been one of their more consistent elements. But I don't know. Like at home, I think they're going to do this every game, and that's not to take anything away from this win because it was really impressive. Like it's hard to beat a team by 47, man. I don't care who the team is. Arizona could be going up against the worst team in the country and knowing they need to win by 47 before the game. I still think that's a toss up. Like it's hard to beat a team by 47, let alone a team in the top 25 that is kind of nipping at your heels trying to say they're going to contend in the Pac-12. No, you're not. Like sit down, Colorado. No, you're not. Now, obviously,
relax on my buffs.
Colorado was missing two of their three best players. We talked about it in the preview. I thought one of them would play. I thought Tristan Da Silva might play in this game. Cody Williams did not either. A totally different team without those two, but they had been playing really well without those two. KJ Simpson was really bad. 5 for 17 with 8 turnovers in this game. Why was he so bad? Was this just Boswell owning him? Did Boswell hear my clip of me saying I'd take KJ Simpson over Boswell?
Boswell had that boy in Alcatraz. And he had him in Alcatraz on the defensive end. He had him in hell on the offensive end. For real, he was special.
It's a tough place to be.
Yeah,
in Alcatraz hell. A couple other just things that stood out to me with Arizona in this game. Oumar Ballo was not their best big in this game. Krivas was. I've talked about Krivas a little bit with Connor Hope in some previous Arizona preview recaps, but to me, he is a really critical piece of this. Like if he can be a 10 minutes a game guy, every game guy, and kind of not as impactful, but maybe mimic what Donovan Clingan was off the bench for UConn last year. That feels like a really, really notable piece to me. The problem is Krivas went through a stretch where he just sort of disappeared He had what, 6 straight games with 7 points or less, couple games with 2 points, couple games where he barely played against Alabama and Purdue and Florida Atlantic. And now here he is, like, Ballo doesn't have it tonight. Only 4 points, 1 for 7 from the floor in 21 minutes. Okay, let's see what Krivas can do in 17 minutes. 15 points, 7 for 8 from the floor, with a block, with 9 rebounds. I was really wildly impressed with him tonight, and I think it's critical that Tommy Lloyd finds a way to make that an every game thing from Krivas.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad you didn't hit me with this. This seems like the type of theory you hit me on text before, like the Crevious being clinging theory, and I think I might love that. And if that is the case, that actually might spell special things for Arizona. And that, I'm pretty high on Arizona. We did the whole "is this team elite, good, great, out on them" thing yesterday. I put Arizona in the elite category. I think you had them in the good category. Maybe no, great, I believe actually. I don't know. We'll have to go back and look. But with that said, that'd be a needle mover for this Arizona team because he did look great.
Yeah, no doubt. I do think they're a different team when they get him going because for more or less, enough of the starters are going to show up. Like every night it can be a different guy, which is what makes them so dangerous. But like you're going to get 3 of the 5 big names on this team to play well. Tonight it was Caleb Love, Boswell, and Larson. Other nights it's Ballo, Johnson, and one of the others. Well, sometimes Jaden Bradley off the bench. Sometimes KJ. Like this team just has dudes. I think they have 8 players who would start on almost any team in the country. And that's scary. I don't know how anyone in the Pac-12 is going to keep up with it. They're not going to lose a game at home. But Krivas is the one that feels maybe most important to me because we've just seen it. We saw it with UConn last year. Like when you run into an issue with a big man where he gets in foul trouble or for whatever reason, Ballo's just, worn down a little bit, to have a second one who feels like a starting big that can come in and play 15 to 20 minutes any given game. It's one of the most powerful things a team can have. And Arizona certainly has that. So, all right. How much does this score change? Just rapid fire style. How much does this score change if Da Silva and Cody Williams play in this game?
It's probably a 25-point win.
Okay. So still a blowout.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's where I'm at too. Arizona, how many games do they win the Pac-12 by?
Oh, I want to say something crazy, like 6 games.
Do they end the season a number 1 seed?
Yes.
Do they end the season the number 1 overall seed?
No.
I think there's less threats to Arizona on the 1 seed line than there are Purdue, though.
True. That. Well, what about Kansas though? Like
Kansas has too many threats too. I mean, whoever wins the Big 12 will get there, but like to me, if we could bet on just being a 1 seed, Arizona has to be the betting favorite right now because I don't think they're going to make mistakes in conference play at all.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, true. I mean, they probably lose what? I mean, they lost one to Stanford, but at max 3 Pac-12 games they lose.
Yeah, I don't know. Really good team.
I mean, who knows? But as I like to say, as a fan of the great game of soccer, it's always easy to win at the crib. It's easy to win at the Etihad if you're Manchester City. It's can you do it on a cold, rainy night at Bramhill Lane against Sheffield United? It's way harder to do that. They can get this great, nice win at home. Are you ready to go to Corvallis on a sleepy Thursday evening and it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, no one's watching, and go up against Jordan Pope and Mr. Tinkle and win that game? They weren't up to it the first time. They lost to Stanford. So I want to see it. Can you do it on a cold, rainy night at Stoke, at Bramhill Lane? That's all I want to see.
Cheers to that. I think they can do it in Corvallis for the record. I'm not circling.
I think we could do it in Corvallis, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I'm not circling Corvallis the way you are. Okay. Congrats, Arizona fans. You look great. We love watching your team. And honestly, one of the biggest winners in college basketball this season is Caleb Love for avoiding Ann Arbor. Can you imagine that poor kid in Ann Arbor right now?
He would actually be pretty hyped though, because once Doug's ineligible, he could average like 50 shots a game.
I'm so happy for him that he got to avoid what I'm stuck with my whole existence. Okay. All right.
Makes